political coverage now. Governor Scott Walker is trying to smooth over differences in Madison tonight with brats and Wisconsin beer. The governor's Brat Summit is just wrapping up at the governor's mansion, but not everyone is on board. NBC 26's Casey Hott has the story.
Governor Walker's afternoon summit was a chance to get lawmakers from both sides of the political spectrum working together again. But some say it will take more than brats and beer to make that happen. Governor Walker is focused on bringing lawmakers together after his big win in last week's recall election. This morning, Walker made a stop at a Fond du Lac business where he talked about his goals for the bipartisan Brat Summit.
It's a good first step. Certainly, we don't have any false pretense to think everything is suddenly going to be magical after today, but I think it's a great start. When I served in the legislature, I tried to remind folks back then that you should never personalize your differences. But some lawmakers aren't so keen on the governor's bipartisan vision. Democratic Representatives Mark Pocan and Kelda Helen Royce say they'd rather have a conversation with Governor Walker at the state capitol, not a cookout. And Republican Representative Steve Noss of Whitewater decided to skip the summit because he's mad at two members of the Democratic Party who called the governor arrogant. In a statement, Noss said it's time that the Democratic leadership in the legislature publicly reject the vile and extreme comments from Mike Tate and Senator Risser. Despite the controversy, Governor Walker says he's looking at ways to move forward. Throughout the remainder of the summer, there'll be plenty of time to get into specifics and work in some details. Some things I talked about today about how we can help employers find more skilled workers, about how we can help small businesses grow. Those are things that don't necessarily know a partisan boundary, and I think we can work on. More than 400 people attended Governor Walker's Brat Summit today, including lawmakers, their spouses, and political staff. The governor says he'll spend the next few weeks touring Wisconsin businesses and working to push for job creation all throughout the state. Casey Hott, NBC 26.
The Brat Summit is the topic of tonight's poll question. We want to know, will the Brat Summit succeed in bringing both sides together after the recall election? Your choices are yes, no, or I don't care. Go to NBC26.com to cast your vote. You can also leave your comments on our Facebook page. We'll have the results tonight on NBC 26 Live at 10. Some Wisconsin companies sponsored the Beer and Brat Summit today, including a Green Bay brewery. Titletown Brewing Company provided the beer. Titletown's founder and president says there's nothing more Wisconsin than coming together over a cold one.
And I think there's something truth to be said about sitting down with your, people you might not agree with, and just having a beer and realizing that, ultimately we're all residents of the state and we kind of need to move on.
Miller Coors also provided beer today, while Johnsonville supplied the brats. A big Wisconsin cheese tray was also served. And check out this special root beer that was handed out. Sprecher Brewing Company created a Moving Wisconsin Forward bottle label just for today's summit.